No, unlike some Steam games, there's no direct link to the achievement, so I'll have to do that offline. No matter. Nothing to loot. Should we walk around and chat with these people? Honoria has already said her piece.
So, we made it. I'm impressed, aren't you? The odds were completely against one of us actually getting to the Archdemon. But of course you would make it. I knew you would. I guess Morrigan was telling the truth after all. About the ritual. The rest of the Grey Wardens haven't arrived yet from Morlaix. But they've already sent questions. What should I tell them?
Oh. Yeah, it was my decision, and I stand by it. Tell them the truth.
That a Maleficar saved you and then ran off to have my demon baby? That has a certain ring to it, right? No, I suppose I'll just keep that to myself.
All right.
I can shrug and look stupid. It's a talent. Speaking of Morrigan, do you know where she went? I'm told she vanished right after the battle. No goodbyes or anything.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll find her. And that fits very well. One of the DLCs is called Witch Hunt. I don't know if the storyline is the same. We'll discuss that when I activate the DLC. It may not be based on this particular storyline, but we will suspend our disbelief when we get there.
I'm just concerned about what that ritual is going to cost eventually. At any rate, I'm looking forward to meeting the rest of the Grey Wardens when they come. We'll need to rebuild, right? And if I don't get the chance some other time, thanks. For everything.
No thanks are necessary.
I'll let you get to your adoring public. They want to see the hero of Ferelden, and who am I to keep them waiting?
Oh, I just had a really cruel thought. You walk out on the balcony and voomp, an arrow right between the eyes. Somebody not so adoring. Let's continue with the chats.
How incredible that it survived. It has exceeded my expectations.
Ah, rock on. Thank you.
It is welcome. I'll point out that my expectations are difficult to exceed. Thankfully, it appears to be the exception when it comes to its kind. Otherwise, I might be forced to revise my opinion completely. But I will go now. I'm thinking I will return to Orzammar. Perhaps I will fight the Dark Spawn in the deep roads. Clear them out for good. They remind me of pigeons.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do you need some help?
No. Where I go, it is better if I go alone. The Blight may be over, but the Dark Spawn will just go underground once again. Perhaps I can do something to aid the dwarves. It is a worthy quest. Something worth existing for. Does that make sense?
So, gameplay-wise, I wouldn't mind having her along. But, role-playing-wise, I certainly wouldn't stand in her way. If anybody can make a dent, she could. So, yes. Yes, it does.
Good. Perhaps I will see it again one day. I hope so. For a flesh creature, it has been excellent company.
Yeah, thank you very much. Still here? Liliana.
So here we are. The conquering heroine has won the day, and now she takes her bow and exits the stage. A fine ending.
Yes, I'm a bit of a heroin addict. But does the heroine get the girl?
I don't know. I haven't read that part yet, have I? You'll have to tell me.
The hero always gets the girl.
Oh, is that how it is? You know, I can't help now but think of my vision. The Maker sent me to help you, and look what you did. It's a miracle. It truly is. I've been asked by the Chantry to return to the Urn of Sacred Ashes. I need to make sure it's protected. Maybe pilgrims can even begin going there again.
Do you need help?
If you'd like to come, I'd be glad for the company. Especially yours. The expedition leaves in a month. We can talk again once the celebrations are done and make preparations. I look forward to it.
I don't see that happening, but, you know, lip service, so to speak. Zevran, alright, well, you're next in line, I guess.
I will be relieved when all this pomp and ceremony is done. Such events are perfect opportunities for assassins, after all. I can't help but expect the crows to appear at any moment, which would be a welcome break, mind you.
So you think the crows will still come after you?
Eventually. With Taliesin dead, it may take them time to figure out what has happened, but they are like the tides, predictable. You know, it does occur to me that staying in one place is only going to invite the crows to find me that much quicker. While fun, that might eventually get complicated. You said earlier that you were planning on returning to the Grey Warden fold soon. Is that true?
Yes.
The Grey Wardens seem to be a fun bunch to hang around, huh? Maybe they won't mind a resident assassin. I'm an excellent mascot.
Yeah, I'd be happy, sure.
And I promise not to get you into too much trouble. Well, no more than you get me into, anyhow. Well then, since we're going to be leaving together, we can speak after you have been sufficiently paraded in front of the populace. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on you and make sure no one gets a clear shot. Not without paying me a great deal of coin, anyhow.
So I don't know what effect these conversations are having, whether I'm actually abandoning parts of the team and whatnot, but as always, I just stand by my decision. I do have to take a break for a second, though. I'll be right back. Alright, turn it off mute. Makes it much better. Win next.
The hero of Ferelden. My. How does it feel?
They could have thought up a better name. Superhero. It's a little strange.
Of that I have no doubt. It's a title you'll be wearing for a long time to come, just as Loghain wore his. But it's not so bad, is it? A blight defeated with the other nations barely becoming aware. Who could ask for better?
I didn't do it on my own.
I don't think many heroes ever do. I'm glad not to be on the receiving end of all this attention myself. I say, let the young have their fame. Not that I've gone without notice. Irving asked me to take over as first enchanter, but I don't wish to go back. Not after all this. Instead, I've decided to accept a position here at court. There's not been a mage advising the throne for a very long time.
That actually sounds quite interesting, and she's about ready to drop off, from what I understand. Yeah, but what about your problem?
It's true. I may not have very much time. But perhaps there is a great deal of good I can do even so. I will try. I understand you will be leaving. I wish you good fortune on your journeys, wherever they may take you. If we do not see each other again, live well, Warden. And thank you.
Yep, alright. Oh boy.
Humans have a better taste for spirits than I thought. The ale up here is actually good. Orzammar ale tastes like dirt in comparison. Probably because they put dirt in it. Go figure.
Dirt ale. Enjoying yourself already, I see.
After what we went through, I think I've earned it. I think you've earned it. So I guess you're heading off soon, huh? Leaving the city?
That's the plan.
I'm thinking I'll stick around myself, at least for a bit. I'm getting used to that big sky up there. And I'm thinking I might just look up Felsi again, see where that goes.
I thought that was her right next to you. Okay. Yeah, my face memory is terrible. That's uncharacteristically optimistic of you.
Yeah, well, you know me. I'm all about the cheery, romantic optimism. Ah, well, enough babbling. That pot-bellied son of a whore Tegan said I'd pass out before drinking an entire barrel of pickle juice. I aim to prove him wrong.
Don't ever change.
Who, me? It's been good traveling with you, Warden. Don't get lost in the shuffle now.
Oh, we don't get to talk to our dog. Sorry about the sword,
They
dude.
call you Hero. I have not heard it used before, but I think I understand the intent. The Arishok on occasion has declared a Kunari to be Kunoranvel, one who serves as an example to others. Such examples are always made after their death, however, a death in service to the Kyun. A living Kunoranvel would be too proud.
Nothing wrong with a little pride. I'm not sure it's the same thing. Do the Canary would just ask you.
When a Kunoranvel is declared, certainly. It is one of few occasions when the Kunari are permitted to engage in revelry. There is imbibing of spirits, public chanting, meditations abandoned. It is madness.
Sipping a little wine. Yeah. Don't you ever smile?
I am smiling. I suppose I should tell you. I have decided to return to my people. Your quest is done, and thus so is my reason for accompanying you.
That will be a long trip. The Darkspawn are still a threat.
Yes. I suspect Parvolin will not look the same as it once did. My views have changed a little. It must be said, you gave me the chance to redeem my honor, and now it is done. I owe you a debt.
You helped me as well. It's been good.
It has. That one of the Baz, a foreigner, would become known as Kadan to me. Unthinkable. Yet here it is. Perhaps I shall see you again one day. Until then, may you always find the path you seek. Farewell, Kadan.
Alright, so I think that got everybody. Yep. To the guard.
Are you ready, my lady? The crowds outside are getting restless.
Yes.
Right. I'll take you there now. Follow me.
In the months that followed her coronation, Honora proved herself an adept ruler. Trade agreements with other lands quickly brought new funds to the royal coffers, and with them the Queen saw the capital rebuilt. The army was restored, laws were passed to encourage freeholders to produce sufficient harvests, and plans were conceived for a university. I don't know, do I hit space? Yes. Despite Loghain being executed in disgrace, Queen Honora insisted on building a monument to her father overlooking the Orlesian embassy. The statue was largely ignored, save by Honora herself, who voyaged out to the statue once a year to place flowers at its feet. As the years passed, Honora continued to rebuff the advice of Ferelden's nobility, requesting that she remarry. Although prospective suitors from other nations visited Denerim from time to time, the Queen's only comment is that all of them fall far short of the bar she measures them against, that of her father, who was head and shoulders below the rest. News that the Urn of Sacred Ashes had been found in Ferelden did not spread outside the Chantry until Brother Genoviti made an announcement several months after the defeat of the Darkspawn. The manuscript detailing his research and his experience with Andraste's cult drew huge interest among scholars throughout Thedas. Some years later, the Chantry announced that the resting place of Andraste's ashes had indeed been found. They were located, however, in the ruins that were also the lair of a high dragon, thus proving too dangerous to approach. Many made demands to secure the ashes so that followers could undertake pilgrimages to partake of their healing powers. I don't know if that's bad or good. I left the dragon and we could have gone back and slain it, but it protects the ashes. Following numerous failed attempts to deal with the dragon, the beast finally flew off to find another haven, but leaving the mountaintop sanctum in ruins. An excavation found no traces of the urn. Alright, well. People began to doubt that the ashes had ever been found, while others claimed that the cult of Andraste's followers stole them from the temple. Still others say that the Maker himself removed the urn, deeming mankind unworthy of it. Excuse me. For now, what happened to the urn is simply unknown. Following months of effort, the Tower of the Circle of Magi was finally cleansed of the last spirits to slip through the veil. No further abominations were created, and First Enchanter Irving was pleased to declare the circle safe. All that could be saved had been. With slavers shut down in the alienage, the lot of the city-born elves improved for a time. A food shortage years later forced Queen Honora to come down hard on elven rioters, an act not quickly forgiven and a sign that tensions between the elves and humans were far from resolved. Shiani continued to be an outspoken member of the alienage community, and in time became the new elder. That outspokenness earned her frequent trouble, but served her people well. Arl Eamon returned to Redcliffe, beginning the long task of rebuilding. He found the village already bustling and eager to leave behind the memories of those terrible nights facing the undead. Connor was sent off to study at the Circle, and considering his earlier experiences, he excelled in his training and easily passed the harrowing to become a full mage. At his father's urging, Connor accepted a position in Tevinter to undertake formal study of the Fade. The young woman Caitlin eventually made it to Denerim safely, that's the one we gave gold, and used the small fortune she received for her father's sword to open a foundry while the city rebuilt. The foundry did well, turning her into a wealthy and respected woman. By chance, she met Tegan again at court, and within months, the two of them were married. Bella, the tavern wench, made it to Denerim safely. With the money she was given, she opened a brewery of her own. Dalish elves prospered after the siege at Denerim, having earned much respect for their part in the battle. For once, human lands welcomed the wandering folk. The new keeper, Lanaya, was respected both among the Dalish as well as in the Ferelden court. She was a voice of reason, and other Dalish clans would turn to her to help resolve disputes with the human folk. In time, many of the Dalish clans moved to the new land provided for them in the south near Ostagar. Wary of their human neighbors, however, tension soon rose again, and only Keeper Lanaya's leadership kept peace alive. In Orzammar, King Haramont found himself in a protracted battle against Balin's rebellion that left him unable to gain the stability he needed. The clan lords objected to many of his measures in the assembly, and only his efforts to increase the dwarves' isolation from the surface met with any success. In time, Harasmith's health began to fail. Some claimed it was poison, while others said it was flagging spirit. Either way, after a protracted illness, the king finally passed away. The wrangling in the assembly for its successor began almost immediately. The dwarven mage Dagna ultimately completed her studies in the rebuilt circle tower on the surface. Eventually, she published a comprehensive theory of how lyrium vapors relate to the supply of magic. It gained a great deal of attention. This inspired mages from other parts of Thedas to establish a new circle of magi in Orzammar itself, one that had ready access to dwarven lyrium and lies outside the Chantry's power completely. The willingness of Orzammar to harbor apostates sparked outrage that began whispers that the Divine was contemplating a new exalted march. Although the Anvil of the Void was destroyed, rumors about its location crept into Orzammar. Years later, thanks to the defeat of the Darkspawn on the surface, a few determined smiths managed to locate the Anvil's remains. They examined the ruins of the Anvil, and upon returning to Orzammar with their findings, convinced the Shaper to attempt to recreate Caridin's research. A new golem was created, bound with a spirit taken from the Fade. The golem immediately went insane, killing several Shapers before it was destroyed. The research was branded excessively dangerous and sealed away. Whispers of its existence circulated throughout Orzammar, however, and demand among the Smiths caste to reopen Caridin's research refused to abate. As good as her word, Morrigan disappeared once the archdemon was slain. Someone of Morrigan's description was seen traveling alone months later, heading west through the Frostback Mountains. She may even have been with child. companions who had travelled with Callian eventually scattered to the four winds, drawn either by personal duty or the call to further adventure. The Grey Wardens welcomed their hero back into the fold gladly, eager to receive a hero who faced the Archdemon and lived to pass on the knowledge. As the Blighted Lands began to heal and the Grey Wardens slowly rebuilt the Order in Amaranthine, they discovered that the fight against the Darkspawn was not yet complete. Although the Horde was routed and had dissolved upon the Archdemon's death, many of the more powerful Darkspawn survived to organize roving warbands that preyed on the land and each other. These warbands spread havoc, and some even journeyed west into Orlais or across the shining sea by the deep roads. They proved extremely difficult to wipe out. But these are tales yet to be told. This tale ended when Callian sank her blade into the Archdemon's head and destroyed it forever. It was not the last that Ferelden would hear of her, however.